precious Buddhahood. O Mother Sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation of nations, may they experience happiness, be separate from suffering safely. Have a still and still one surpass perfect, complete and precious Buddhahood. Dala don't worry, no parasipe, Tarba dam je jembe barde ju barazeba dam je zozebe mananga dan yambe semje dam je dewa dambe dungara dan ran yorde lana meba yanda barazobe sanjo rumbo je do barazo. Thus, under achieving enlightenment, perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and mind. Under death, perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and mind. From now under this time tomorrow, perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and the mind. We take refuge in the kind rule, Lama, and the land. We take refuge in the deity of the mandalas of the yadams. We take refuge in all the exalted Buddhas. We take refuge in the perfect Dharma. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sanghas. We take refuge in all the noble Dakas, Dakinis, and the Dhamma guardians, possessors of the eye of wisdom. Until I attain the heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in all the Buddhas. I take refuge in the Dharma and the likewise in the example of a Bodhisattvas. As the previous Buddhas embodied enlightened mind and the progress on the Bodhisattva's path are true for the benefit of all sentient beings, giving birth to bodhicitta and apply myself to a complete stage of the path. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent, I take refuge under enlightenment's reach. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering, the causes of suffering. May they never be separate from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in calamity, free from attachment and aversion. So we skip the long one. Go to short mandala offering. The ground is sprinkled with scented water and strewed with flowers. It is adorned with the Meru, the spring mountain, the four continents, the sun, the moon. As Buddha fell for it, may all sentient beings attain the happiness as a Buddha first. To the Lama who possesses the three kayas, I offer in the sacred offerings with my body, birth, and all that is visible. Please grant me the spirit realization enlightenment. Whatever merit I have gathered through prostrations, offerings, confession, rejoicing, beseeching, and praying, for the sake of the enlightenment of all sentient beings, all these are dedicated. Om Guru Rina Mandala Punza Manga Samandra Savarana Samaye Aho. Equal refuge, honor of the world. Your fame provides the 3,000 words. You are the victor of Arjadara with wardrobe. I bow at the feet of Father Jiki Sungo. Continually, I think of no one but you. Compassion, one grant your blessings. Despair, darkness that surrounds my heart. Please bless me so that I can realize the unlimited nature of mind. Please stand aware of the Dharma of the two vehicles and the combination according to disposition, the likewise the mental capacity of sentient beings. His wisdom is brilliant like the sun, free of the clouds of two worlds, and perceive the various steps of knowledge in the true nature. For this reason, he holds the wisdom text at his heart. He has a compassion for beings who suffer from the darkness of ignorance and the prison of samsara, as a father for only son. Like a thunderclap, he awakened those who are sleeping in ignorance and losing the charm of karma through the 60 branch of Haramana speech. He wields the wisdom silver to cast settling of the suffering into despair, darkness of my darkness of confusion. And the Buddhist hour from his pure from beginningless charm, fully accomplished in the 10 levels and the perfect in the body of all knowledge. Supplicated human gesture adorned by the 112 Sons of Buddha to dispel darkness of my ignorance. Om Arapasana de 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 Om Arapasana. Om Arapasana de 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 Om Wangeshoram Om Wangeshoram Om Wangeshoram Om Wangeshoram. Om Wangeshoram 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 Om Wangeshoram. No wange joromo 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 wange joromo. You who are the perfect, beautiful body, whose flame of wisdom blesses and dispel darkness of all delay ignorance, are posted before you and praise you, Majashiri. Yone Galen Changwai Po. 一些肉美绕的吧，一定的我们萨瓦，将把养老上这儿都。当个都结小结人生中，眼睛么多对着公交吧。 Sırca lembo tavara jipeke şakye jarbe şavla güsanze dorje canjen delo narodan marba nalay çiçe gambo ba hamoy tuba jarwa inci gongbe kajı lama nanlay zorvande Rome çiçe yence bogande 自从上界根正我业，让生几个我从东这边，早晚拉美下拉索罗的。Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming the teaching. So I'm going to share, ready to share the Bardo Thodol. So this teaching, we already started yesterday, so that's today is the second day. So this second day teaching. So this teaching only the who joined the the beginning like and wanted to join receive teaching, then or someone part of missing the teaching, so we can share the video recording to that person. If someone not in the zone, and please don't make recording to share others, because this teaching is like who come into the zone and receive the teaching, so we only sharing for them. The someone not in the zone, so you make video recording something to share others, so that's incorrect. So when you going to receive teaching, you need a permission and sharing for others, recording teaching. So the point is someone not come into the zone, and then you make recording and share other is incorrect. Please don't do that. So then we have lots of people starting many zone, and it's ROMs. So there's not easy to create all this, people, everyone can come into the zone and then create many different zone rooms. Thanks very much the zone organizers and everyone doing very hard. Then also thanks to the translators. So we have a couple of translators, different languages. So thank you everyone who join all this, helping for sharing this teaching for have ability for other people have received. Now we go to the teaching as yesterday, and so this Bardo Thodol has introduction section, and then main teaching, conclusion teaching, so 3 different levels. So we finished the first section, introduction. So now today we are into the main teaching sections. Main teaching sections. So yesterday we shared about this Bardo Thodol. We're going to performing for someone. So someone is dissolution. So then we perform that person. So the performing this Bardo Thodol timing is, disease like already outer breath is gone, finish. And then inner breath is in there, but inner breath is going to, cease, like going to stop very soon. And that kind of moment, so you chant this Bardo Thodol for someone, is lots benefit for the person. So the Bardo Thodol is a hearing liberation. There's someone who died, they heard this teaching, and then that really helps navigate in the Bardo to take good birth, or they can liberate. Someone who has this teaching and the practice, then they can liberate if someone have this teaching practice that they have a like really good high level practice, and without someone helping, they can liberate themselves in the Bardo, use this teaching. But some has teaching, then they're not really familiarity that much, and no practice enough. Someone has good knowledge, but they don't receive this teaching. So then someone never receive this Bardo Thodol teaching, hearing liberation. Then you read them is lots benefit for them. So then how to read for them is like yesterday we already talked how to perform it for them. So you can chant 3 times and 7 times. Someone dies, so you can loudly read for them clearly. And then who going to read that is like someone who has this teaching and transmission, the person perform to the someone is lots benefit. So if you get the person who performing spiritual teacher is great. If you don't get the spiritual teacher, but then you have some, same the Dharma opinion, follow the Buddha Dharma Sangha, and who has devotions, and who believe the Bardo Thodol teaching, who has devotion, then that person read you, that's also benefit a lot. So that's the yesterday we talked. So now, today here, right now I sharing this part is a little bit hardest part. So then today is also yesterday I talked a little bit about this part, so I go back to again concerning the time for making this introduction. So when we have to really perform this introduction, after respiration has ceased, so outer breath is finished. The vital energy is absorbed into the channel or persistent cognation. So then, your vital energy is going into the persistent cognation. So that, I shared lots, explained yesterday. Right now, we really don't know which kind of this vector energy is, so this absorbed into the channel of persistent combination. That channel also right now we really don't know. But when the die, mostly, this all the conceptual channel is dissolved. So then our vector energy go into the to the channel of persistent combination and go to that combination into that channel. Then consciousness of the disease naturally arises as a non-conceptual in no readings. So the main point is, and that time, the disease, then the mind is free from all the dualistic conceptuals. So that person mind is into the non-dual nature states. So then that, time, so that person has ability to recognize own nature. And that moment, if we read this Bardo herring liberation, this is can liberate into the Bardo liberation. So they don't have to go through the intermediate state Bardo. Then later the vector energy will be reversed. So then this, again, our vector energies will be reversed from the, channel of persistent combination. So that from that, the vector energy will be reversed again, come back again, and escape into the right and the left channels. So the, here is talking about the vector energy is is absorbed into the channel of persistent combination. It's a kind of a center channel, something heart center level. So heart level channel go into that channel, our vector energy, then non-conceptual experience arise. Then that vector energy is reverse again and escape into the right and the left channels, like not inner, like I think heart chakra center, go to the right side of the channel and the left side of the channel will be reversed and escape into the right and the left channels. And as a result, then what happened that time, the appearance of the subsequent intermediate state of reality will arise suddenly. So then that time, so you have all this, Bardo experience arise. The moment Bardo experience is arising. Result is the appearance of the subsequent intermediate state of the reality will arise suddenly. So if our vector energy go to the right channel and the left channel, then that time hard to liberate into the non-dual first state of the Dharmakaya nature, because the person is already this vector energy left channel and right channel goes into this channel, then appearance is Bardo is already arise. So before this, our vector energy go to right channel and the left channel, before the vector energy go into this into the channel of persistent combination. So that moment we have to do this Bardo Thodol, and then person can liberate. Right moment there. So otherwise this person go into again in the Bardo. So then vector energy where, reverse escape into the right and the left channel, and as a result, the appearance of subsequent intermediate cell reality will arise suddenly. Therefore, the introduction to inner readings at the time of death should be made before the vector energy has escaped into the right and the left channels. So this vector energy is going into, I think, heart center channel. So that time, it will be performing this Bardo Thodol for the disease, then disease can liberate. They don't have to go through the intermediate state, Bardo. Then the vector energy come back to again, reverse again, go into right channel and the left channel, then arise or this Bardo experience again. Generally, the length of time during which the inner breath remains present within the central channel is just about the time taken to eat a meal. So, this vector energy is going into the heart center channel. So that's the, yesterday we says like the, vector energy is absorbed into the channel of persistent cognition. So then that time we have this all no door concept, and that can be stay during like it's just about the time taking to eat a meal, means like during the someone eat the food, maybe like 10 minutes, can be like less than 30 minutes, more than 10 minutes, I think. That kind time looks like, our vector energy is into the heart center chakra. So there, here says just first time cognition. So in that center, our vector energy stay. The moment you perform this Bardo Thodol, and then person has ability to liberate. So then as regards at the actual mode of making this introduction. So it is best of the consciousness transference is effected at the time, the moment when the respiration is able to cease. So here is, the introduction, this teaching, the best of the consciousness transference means like this is called power. Transferring teachings power is effected at the moment when the respiration is able to cease, means our auto breath is ceases. So that moment power is really good timing to do the power practice. The power is go first, the hearing liberation is go second. The power is auto level breath is ceases. Then that moment the power is practice. If someone does power for the disease or someone does for us power, is effective benefit. Then this hearing liberation is outer breath is gone, but inner breath is, in there, we already talked this vector energy go into the heart center chakra, and then that moment is very important, hearing liberation. if that, vector energy go to right channel, left channels, then it's a little bit too late. The person will go into the Bardo. But still, you have opportunity to, chant this Bardo herring liberation. But the first, section is important part also gone. If this vector energy go to right channel and the left channel. If it is not, one should say the following words. Then we have to follow this, after follow this instruction. All child of Buddha nature, so we calling the disease, sometimes you can call the name of the dying person. See, here says, then the time has no come for you to seek apart, so no time is come. Very important time is come to you. So you have to look to your path. So we remind them for the disease. As soon as your respiration ceases, so your breath is gone, the luminosity known as inner reading of the first intermediate state, which your spiritual teacher formally introduced to you, will arise. And so you have to understand here, you can be a little bit confused what the we talked here. The reason is, this right now, this performance is vector energy is not going into the right channel and the left channel. So vector energy is in the, center channel, looks like, we already talked up there, is so called the, vector energy is absorbed into the channel of persistent cognition. So that time, so we have to do this performing. Right now, this performing is vector energy is in the heart center channel. So that moment we doing this performing. So as soon as your respiration ceases, the luminosity known as inner readings of the first intermediate state. So that's called first intermediate state, which your spiritual teacher formally introduced to you, means like we, share the Mahamudra Dzogchen teaching, introduce our nature, so that will arise. The nature requires will arise that time. Because of that moment is no door state. Immediately your respiration ceases. So that moment all phenomena will become empty and utterly like space. At the same time, a naked awareness will arise. So nature requires arise. Not extra us to yourself. So that nature requires not somewhere outside arising, but it is your nature is arising. It is called your own nature. But radiant, empty, and without horizon or center. At that moment, you should personally recognize this intrinsic nature and rest in the state of that experience. So someone has the Dzogchen, we share already Garuda teaching. Someone has that teaching, then someone practices that teaching, and then, when this Bardo, actually when we die, that moment, this is called the intermediate state. So actually, you know, the Bardo of reality arise. So you recognize this nature. If you recognize that nature, then, you know, rest in the state of the experience. You rest into the nature state. Then you can liberate in the reality of the Bardo. So we have ability to liberate in the first state. This one is only person who has Dzogchen teachings. That person can liberate in this state. Then that person has a teaching and a practice because they recognize, you know, their own practice, have possible to liberate. Two were introduced it to you at that time. So now also, you know, the disease has Dzogchen Mahamudra teaching, and they have this experience, but some don't have that much familiarity. Then someone performing this hearing liberation to the disease that really help for them, you know, reminding them. So then they can recognize and can liberate themselves there in that state, part of reality. So in this state is practitioner. Then can they recognize their own nature. Then also this, you know, someone read this hearing liberation really help them to remind themselves. This word should be spoken audibly many times. So then we have to read many times for the disease. And they hear this again in the air, and they can, you know, recognize, they can remember true nature. So impressing them on the mind of a dying person until respiration ceases. So, you know, we have to impressing this hearing liberation to the dying person until respiration ceases. So until the person is outer breath is gone, I mean inner breath is gone, or so until that we have to chant this for the disease. So then another instruction. The Bardo, you know, I mean the dying person, then when the respiration is on the point of ceasing, so the auto level breath is ceasing, one should let the dying person on the right side. So we let them to, you know, slave or the person, like, don't let to stay like this way, and left side is like under, they also incorrect. So must be right side is, you know, is the right side is the posture of the lying. Means like when Buddha Shakyamuni passed away in Nirvana, same like that. We, you know, dying person posture, we let them to do that way. We have to them, and you know, posture is the right side in the posture of lying, and take the pose. So once the throbbing of the two carotid arteries has stopped, and that means, you know, they have something channels. The channel is stopped, pushed down to in the lower body. The channel cannot go through. It's stopped. So that channel actually, I think, looks like, you know, lower REM experience channel, or some direct channel is open. So that's why you have to press down. That channel is stopped. So this not only when we die, actually, I think. So every single night you go for sleep. If you sleep in this way, then your sleep, less nightmare dreams. Less actually negative dreams come to you in your nights. Because the reason is, this here talk about this two carotid arteries has stopped. As long as this stop, and then negative experience is stopped. So that's why when we die, we have to stop the two channels. There should be firmly pressed at the pressure point on the neck. So then the vital energy having entered the central channel. So that really helps become our vital energy is having entered into central channel. Cannot reverse and escape. So they don't go to these other channels. I think this vital energy must go into center channel. If long as your vital energy go into the center channel, then we have this non-draw, non-conceptual experience. So that then if you have practiced meditate, you have ability or possible to recognize your own nature. Long as you recognize your own nature, you can liberate in that state. So, and it will certainly emerge through the crown fatally. So then that time have possible to your consciousness go through your crown. And I think it's the same as power practice. So we have this center channel and the right channel, left channels. This vital energy is kind of like energy with mind. So if go to left channel, right channels, then we have this dualistic concepts is arise. So that time they very hard to introduce nature, and even you chant this Bardo Thodol, then this is very hard to recognize. So that's why vital energy is go into the central channel, and then you perform the Bardo, this hearing liberation. So have ability to your consciousness go through the crown to liberate, or you recognize your own nature. You can liberate. So these are the I think most important sections there. The introduction should continue to meet at this time. So introduction, that time we have to do. This phase in the process of death is called. So called the inner radiance of reality during the first intermediate state. So this one we call the inner radiance of reality. Inner radiance of reality is arising this vital energy go into the center channel. So then that time inner radiance of reality is arise. So that is the outer breath is stopped. Then our vital energy go into the center channel. So we have no door concepts arise. So if you have the Mahamudra Dzogchen practice teachings, you have ability to recognize your own nature ripa. Then you can liberate in the first state. So that takes like just, here talk about maybe 10 to 20, 30 minutes, I think, between. So this inner radiance arise. If you practice in this life, Mahamudra Dzogchen, you have ability to realize in this state. So at this, the unique cool, and incontrovertible, enlightening intention of the Buddha body of reality. So that means we have liberated to the Dharmakaya state, which arise in the minds of all living beings. So in, this inner radiance of reality arise to every single beings, because every single being has a natural mind. And that nature is arise clearly in that moment. So then also this how long the nature is arise at that moment is actually dependent individual, not always the same, Dependent individual. Someone has a Dzogchen Mahamudra practice teachings in this life, then this inner radiance stay really long, and they have ability to recognize. Someone who never have any the teachings, no introduction in the nature, mind, then they don't recognize this nature is arise, but that nature also very short term, arise, but not stay that long. So then anyway, this nature is arise for every single beings. So that's why which arise in the minds of all living beings. So at the moment of the death, this coincides with the period when the water energy is absorbed into the central channel. So then right now, here is the, the right now we're sharing is a inner radiance of reality. So it's called reality of the Bardo. This reality Bardo is, when it's happening, its outer breath is gone, inner breath is there, it's then our water energy is absorbed into the center channel. So then so after respiration has ceased, and before the ceases of the inner breath, outer breath is gone, inner breath is ceasing, and that time our water energy go into the center channel. So you have this experience, reality of the Bardo. You have that experience. Ordinary people describe this state as loss of consciousness. So then someone who don't have any understanding about this teaching practice, just we call ordinary people, someone never ever have Dharma teachings. So that kind of person is then mind consciousness is become lost of consciousness. So then how long they're going to lost consciousness, we don't know. Lost like here, someone who has this teaching practice, then they're not going to lost consciousness. When this inner radiance arises, they recognize their own nature, so they can liberate. But ordinary people, when this inner radiance arises, they become lost. And loss of consciousness means that it's gone, that don't recognize anything. So the direction of this experience of inner radiance is uncertain. It's uncertainty how long this inner radiance, reality of Bardo Shan, is a dependent individual. That's why it's uncertain. For it depends on the health and characteristics of the dying person's physical constitution. So then how long this reality of Bardo stay is dependent individual. If person's body is healthy, and also characteristics of the dying person has some practice, and someone can control the wind and energies. So then someone has something, like they can control the negative emotions. So that person, I think, looks like the conscious, the reality part is still longer. Some don't have any practice dharma, and then body is unhealthy. So they don't know how to control the thoughts, emotion, and the energy and the same channels. So then that person can be very short term. So that's why don't know here says. On the degree of this or here proficiencies in the practice related to the water energies channels. So the point is, depend the individual how long stay. For those who have a considerable practical experience, or those who have achieved stability in the practice of komo abiding. Someone has, the Shine Shamatha practice, and someone has this Yadam deity practice, of course, like Mahamudra level practice, then that person, and this experience is still really long, and they have ability to liberate in these states. Or those who have a healthy energy channels, this experience can be prolonged. So this, if someone has this quality, then this reality of Bardo is shining stay is longer. In striving to make this introduction, one should remain the disease repeatedly by giving the introduction as above the below. So we perform this Bardo Thodol herring liberation for the dying person. So we can performing, not only one time, we have to performing many times again and again. So that reminding the dying person can be recognized. So that really helps until there was fluid emerge from the aperture of the sense organs. So something, dying person body, you can see the signs. When you performing powa, you perform this herring liberation to the dying person. You see the dying person's body, have these signs arise. Zero as a fluid emerges from the aperture of the sense organs. So something from the come out of the nose, or something come out from the crown, and then something come out from the organs. So that means that this herring liberation performing is effective benefit to the dying person. Until that, so we have to do again and again. For those persons of great negativity and those classes of beings with unhealthy channels, this phase lasts no longer than a single snapping of the fingers. Then, the dry person has very strong negativity. That person, the reality of Bardo is very short moments. And like, takes us, here says, single snapping of the finger, like that moment. Then it's go to the lower realms. So in this case, the main point is who has really good practice, then also someone have performing this hearing liberation right time, that person, they don't have to go to intermediate state Bardo. And then someone has strong negativity. So, you know, that person when they die, so right there, moments go down to the lower realms. That person also, they don't have to go to intermediate states, Bardo. So that's why the main point is person who go to intermediate state Bardo is just more ordinary people. So who don't have very high level practice, who don't have so much negative karma, then that person go to intermediate state Bardo. So who has a good practice and the Dzogchen teachings, practice, and then someone perform right taming, this hearing liberation or powa, so that person can liberate in the reality of the Bardo. So then in others, it may last for as long as it takes to eat a meal. So that just generally, you know, it's this reality Bardo appear to during the, you know, eat a meal. So I just told the maybe 30 and 10 minutes between, something like that. So it's everything's unpredictable in this case. We don't know because it's due to the individual case. Then, however, as most sutras and the tantra states that the period of unconsciousness following the moment of death may last for 3.5 days. So usually in the teaching, you know, sutra teachings and the tantra teachings, they mention about someone die, then what happened is that the period of unconsciousness following the moment of death may last for 3.5 days. So can be 3 days, can be lost consciousness, and a half days lose consciousness. So, or 3.5 days, almost 4 days, the person can be lose consciousness. So that's we don't know. It's also everything's individual, dependent individual case. So everything is unpredictable in this level. This moment. Sorry about it. So I have here you know, it's lose the electricity, so in the coming back, that's why a little bit noisy making. So that's why it's you know, in this level, or it's unpredictable. So the just main point today, what we talk is reality of the Bardo. The reality of Bardo is outer breath is gone, inner breath is ceasing, and that moment, you know, the vital energy, it conscious like something energy is going into our heart center to center channel. So that time, then we have this reality of Bardo is arise. I mean, the reality of the Bardo, yeah, is first level. So the reality of Bardo is non-conceptual and no door. The experience is arise. We have ability to liberate in that moment, because if you practice in this life, meditate, Dzogchen, Mahamudra, you can liberate in that state. If we cannot liberate ourselves, someone performing hearing liberation, we have ability to liberate in that state. But then that reality of Bardo can be stay little bit longer, can be stay short. That is up to individual level. So then if we not liberate that state, then what happens is become your consciousness, outer level breath is ceasing. Means inner level, inner breath is gone. So then outer breath is gone, inner breath is gone, 100% dead. So then your body, your consciousness become separate. So then consciousness is lost, called unconsciousness. So still like 3 days or 3.5, almost 4 days. Generally, one should persevere for that length of time in making this introduction to inner readings. So that time, we have to performing this hearing liberation, is introduction to the dead person. So those like still, even the unconscious can be help them. So those like this practice happening for them in making this introduction to inner readings. So as for the way in which this introduction is made, so the point is, dying person, someone, or we are dying ourselves, we have performing this practice ourselves. Then if capable means we have capable ourselves, or the dying person has their capable themselves, should facilitate this or her own accord. So by projecting a formally cultivated spiritual practice into the intermediate states. So there, practice, focus. And this is also, usually the who has this, Bardo experience, the teachers realize as a share is, when we die or someone die, so death suffering is very strong. We cannot do ourselves power, and we don't have ability or capable to do something, this recalling practice ourselves. So only you focus your mind is on your crown. So that also helps, our conscious is through the crown to liberate to Buddha Amitabha pure light. So that's why here says, so should facilitate is this of his or her own accord, means like we have to do ourselves by projecting a firmly cultivated spiritual practice into the intermediate state. Then also you can recall our practice ourselves. So, before die, so we have practiced this teaching right now. When we die, we can recall again. If the individual is not capable for this individual, they don't have an ability to do this practice itself, they are spiritual teacher. So then we must have to have a spiritual teacher or student or spiritual sibling who was close friends. To stay nearby and clearly remain the dying person of the son of death in the correct sequence saying. So they have us, the remainder or these stages, death processing. So what we have to apply ourselves. So they have to remind them for us, or we can remind them for someone die. So now here is just talking about 2 things, right? One is someone die, and we can help them. you know, if the person has, they don't have kept about themselves, we can help them. Or when we die ourselves, so if we have kept about ourselves, then someone don't have to perform this hearing liberation for us. If we don't have kept about ourselves, then we need a spiritual teacher or spiritual friend, someone, you know, guide us for that processing. So then that really helps become, you know, liberate ourselves like through this practice, a guide. Know the sign of the dissolution of earth into water is present. So the how do we have to guide the person? Someone die. Then we have to talk about the sign of the dissolution of the earth into water is present. So this guideline or this specific teaching is in the poet practice. And the poet practice has, you know, then introducing our elements, 5 elements dissolving to the 5 elements. So how that time, which kind of experience we have. So then we guide for the dying person, know your 5 elements is dissolved to the, you know, to the maybe fire or maybe dissolved to the earth. So whatever like that, you know, in the Poa, they have a very clearly introduction or, you know, sharing that teaching. So we have to perform that clearly for the dying person. So see here says earth into the water is present. So know your earth element is dissolving to in the water is present. So water into fire. So water is dissolved to the fire. Fire into wind. So wind into the consciousness and so forth. So this is the guideline, you know, we have to performing or telling them, know your earth is into water. So you have experience. Your body has a very heavy, you know, and so something there is longer teaching talk about each one this experience that we have to share that to the dying person. Then water into fire is become like you know, your or this our the body's water is gone and very strongly bodies heat up, so that kind of, you know, experience into wind, then wind into the consciousness and so forth. So the when the die or the dissolution stages, we have to share that to the dying person. As sit down in the text in theater, natural liberation through recognition of the visual indications and the sign of death. So that, you know, separate like introduction. That section is we don't have in here. So that section is like usually in the power text has. So that we have to perform through the disease. Then when the sequence of the science is almost complete, so all these elements is dissolving into already to the elements, the attendant should encourage the dying person to cultivate the following altruistic intention, beginning with the words. So we have to guide for the dying person. We have to tell them, so no important timing. So they have to, you know, recognize these stages. So we guide them is all child of Buddha nature. Or if the dying person is a spiritual teacher, the attendant should gently say the following words into the a venerable one. So someone died, the person is our teacher and guru. Then we have to say, spiritual teacher is, we have to say like venerable one. The person is our sibling, just a regular person, someone died, then we have to say child of Buddha nature. So venerable one, then you not to be distracted from the cultivation of in altruistic intention. So then we're telling, guide them, don't lose your mind, focus. Don't lose your
As everyone can see, Kempo's internet has dropped. We will work on getting him back on, and we'll continue with the teachings. Thank you. We're still waiting to reach Kempo. So while we're waiting, I'll go ahead and put on the Guru Rinpoche mantra. And as soon as Kempo returns, we'll begin with the teachings again.
Sorry about our lost connections. So the buzzer is very hard place here. Is losing the electricity, losing the Wi-Fi. So no, dying person is a spiritual sibling or anyone. So I think we are there. The attendant should call to him or her by name and say the following the words. O child of Buddha nature, what which is core, death has no arrive. Therefore, you should adopt or trust motivation and concentrate your thinking as follows. So we remind them, cultivate bodhicitta. Then we, share this performing. I have arrived at the time of death. So no relying on the process of the death. I will single-mindedly cultivate on trust intention. So single-pointedly focus, cultivate bodhicitta. And also we tell them like single-pointedly pay attention. I will meditate on the generation of loving kindness, compassion, and or trust intention to attain enlightenment. So when we are in that moment or someone in that state, Bardo, so we can record our love meditation, compassion meditation, bodhicitta, this intention during the lifetime we practice. So that all practice we have to record in that state. For the benefit of all sentient beings who are as limitless as space, I must attain perfect Buddhahood. So we reminding our bodhicitta and ourselves, we are in the Bardo, or someone in the Bardo, we just, sharing this practice, teaching for them to remind themselves. So for the benefit of all sentient beings who are limitless space, I must attain of the perfect Buddha. And in a particular, you should think at the moment for the sake of all sentient beings. It's at that moment if we have ability to thinking about other sentient beings, then it's very powerful because we arise this good motivation, intention, and arise in our heart, mind. So that's really help liberation to ourselves. And also someone die, we sharing them, like ask them to cultivate the love and the compassion. If they record their practice, love and the compassion, they have ability to liberate, through the love and the compassion. And particularly, you should think at the moment, for the sake of all sentient beings, I must recognize the time of death as the presence of inner radiance, the Buddha body of reality, and while in that state. So I wanted, then we're telling them, you please recognize, your own nature. Remind them to recognize your own nature. So reason is you have to, someone die, we're telling them you have to liberate other beings. Please remind your own nature Ripa. And so we have to, let them, remind them. And while in the state, I must attain the supreme accomplishment of the great seer, and thereby act for the good of all sentient beings. Then we're recalling our Mahamudra practice. So great seer is called Mahamudra. We're recalling that practice. If I do not achieve this accomplishment, then recognize the intermediate state as it is. So that moment, we sharing this teaching, that person have a, have ability to liberate. The long as you share this, hearing liberation to that person, they can record the love and the compassion practice. They record their own bodhicitta, and then compassion, love, bodhicitta can liberate. Or we can telling them to record their practice, Mahamudra, realization practice. Then they can have ability to liberate. So we are in this moment state. So we have to record our love meditation, compassion meditation, bodhicitta practice. And also we can recall ourselves this Mahamudra practice. Then we have ability, could be ability to ourselves to liberate. So this liberation did not achieve this accomplishment, then recognizing the intermediate state as it is. If then we don't recognize our, the nature, Ripa, then go to the Bardo. So we have to also another way to helping other Bardo beings, also helping ourselves. So then I will actualize the coalescent Buddha body of the great seer during the intermediate state and thereby. So we practice Mahamudra in that moment ourselves, if we have ability to do that, or someone, like guide us. So they're telling us meditate Mahamudra, manifesting in order to instruct each in accordance with his or her needs. So then the Bardo beings, what they really need. So we use this performing for them. I will act for the benefit of all sentient beings who are as limitless as space. So the Bardo, the person have to record bodhicitta. I wanted to benefit all mother sentient beings without giving up the focus on cultivating or trusting intention. In the above way, recollect the meditative experiences which you formally develop on the basis of the oral teachings. So then, we remind them without give up the focus on cultivating or trust intention. So bodhicitta. Or we are in the Bardo, we have to recall bodhicitta ourselves. So that's we already in the above talk about it clearly. Recollect the meditative experience. So then during this lifetime, we have this, Dzogchen Mahamudra teaching practice. So when we are in the state, we have to record that practice ourselves. And someone in the Bardo, we telling them, please record your practice again. The meditative experience, which you formally develop on the basis of the oral teachings. So that's, see, we develop in this practice ourselves right now. So then in the Bardo, we can record this hearing liberation ourselves. So that's why the main point is we have to read many times this Bardo teaching during the lifetime. Then in the Bardo, even someone no read for us, we can record ourselves. We can have ability to do that. But someone read for us, then we can easily recognize, understanding very clearly. So that really helps become we can navigate ourselves in the Bardo. So this is a really good GPS, you know, for navigating ourselves in the Bardo. So use this method, we can liberate ourselves in the Bardo. Whose words should be clearly spoken while placing the lip close to the ear of the dying person. So that's yesterday also talked. And then die person, someone die, we have to, you know, chant, read this teaching for the dying person, or we are die, so someone read for us, close to the ear of the dying person. Without permitting the intention of the dying one to be distracted even for own instinct. Someone die, so we have to read this, the ear clearly and, you know, then many times. So then the dying person, the cannot mind go to thinking about something else, you know. So they have to hear this all the time in the ear, dying person. Their mind is be with this introduction teaching. So then we can help them navigate. The dying person can liberate in the Bardo. So if we are dying, you know, someone read it clearly for us. So then that really helps us for liberate. Dying want to be distracted. We have to distract even for own instinct. So that person never mind get distracting other things. Hearing all the time this teaching. So that's why yesterday, you know, in the teaching already talked, someone die, we sharing this hearing liberation to the dying person, that moment, not let anyone crying and doing some sad and, you know, other things like distracting there. So the person, dying person, only hearing this liberation is very clearly for them. So that's what we have to create for the moment. The attendant should remain him or her of past meditative experience. So then, so we have to, you know, this clearly sharing to the dying person, meditative experience. Then when the respiration has ceased, means like inner breath is gone, and the two carotid arteries have been firmly pressed, remain the dying person with the law following the words. So you can be confused in this teaching because like sharing many things again and again. So the reason is, you know, is here the many instructions for the sharing. So giving many different ways, you know, instructions for dying person. So the dying person is, you know, still in the here processing is like inner breath is ceasing. So that means like that person, like we already talked, vector energy is going into the center channel. So that moment we have to share all these instructions for the person. Then also we giving the suggestion how to, posture to die, lay down the lying posture, same as Buddha Shakyamuni pathway. So that's what we have to recognize. It's reminding again and again, remain the dying person with the following the words. If the individual was a spiritual teacher or a spiritual friend greater than oneself, so the someone has better than our practice dharma, then we have to call the venerable one. The inner radiance of the ground is not arising before you. So now we have to tell your inner radiance of the ground is not arise. So that means reality Bardo is arise for you. So reality Bardo is arise, the vector energy go into the center channel. So that moment, the inner, radiance of ground is not arising before you, means that time the arise, reality of Bardo is arise. We remind them, recognize it. So we're telling them, no, you have to recognize it. And concentrate directly on its experiential cultivation. So we're telling them, please stay, remain in your natural rigpa. Recognize, be in that state. So we reminding again and again for someone has good practice, better than us. We remind them again. Then the person, dying person is same as us, the realization or practice level, or the someone didn't have this herring liberation teaching, then we have to call this way, or child of Buddha nature. Then we have to call the name. So lesson, pure inner radiance, reality itself is no arise before you. Recognize it. So we're telling them, no, your experience is, inner radiance, pure inner radiance. So that means like you have reality, Bardo is arise. Recognize. So reality Bardo is non-conceptual, no draw. So it's Rigpa is shining. So we're telling them recognize your own natural Rigpa. Recognize it. Then we also introducing natural Rigpa, because this person could be no teachings before they die. So that's why they don't know what means natural Rigpa. So we have to giving introduction natural Rigpa for them. Child of Buddha nature. This radiant means your experience, essence that is know your conscious as awareness is brilliant, emptiness. So know your, your consciousness, right now your consciousness is awareness is brilliant emptiness. Your mind is emptiness. And also is awareness, not only emptiness, your consciousness is awareness with emptiness. It's also luminosity, clear light. So it is beyond substance. So no, substantial object. Nature is beyond substance, beyond characteristic, and beyond color, completely empty of inherent existence in any respect, whatsoever. So this is the introduction nature Rigpa, and mostly you have already, Garuda teaching, and many Dzogchen Mahamudra we already shared. So long as you have that teachings, you know what here is talking about the sharing. So this is really introducing your own nature mind and Rigpa. So our nature Rigpa is always present. It is clear. It is empty. It is beyond all this characteristic, substantial, and the color. So it is emptiness, but no nothingness is always present in the clear. Inherent existing in any respect whatsoever. So not really inherently exist that the nature requires. So that you right now you have that nature shining. So we're telling them you have to recognize that nature requires. This is the female Buddha Samantha, the essential nature of reality. So no is sharing is that is the natural reality. It is the Samantha. So it's some reason here says Samantha, but it's Tibetan is actually very clearly King the Zampo is like Samantha. So this is the Buddha Samantha, the essential nature of reality means Dharmakaya. So the point is this is your nature Dharmakaya. So we don't have to think about female Buddha or male Buddha. So it's just point is Dharmakaya, emptiness. So that's the right now you have to recognize that we're telling this for the dying person and introducing their own nature. So still, we're introducing for them the essence of your own consciousness. So your own, your mind is awareness, is emptiness. Yet this is not we call us or nihilistic emptiness. So we're telling them your mind is empty, but not the same is nihilism, nothingness. The reason is this, this your nature is, this is your very own consciousness, awareness. So no nothingness is awareness. It's unimpededly radiant, brilliant, and vibrant. So the reason is, your mind is no nothingness, it is shining, and with awareness is unimpededly radiant. So your nature is brilliant and vibrant. So that is free from nihilism. This conscious us, awareness is the mere Buddha Samantha. So the point is, we cannot confuse here. Samantha, Samantha. So Samantha is mere Buddha, Samantha is we call female Buddha. But these two actually not really form body, Buddha. Empty, your nature, emptiness aspect is called Samantha, female. So that's a representative wisdom. And your nature, mind, awareness, and clarity, and unimpededly radiant, brilliant, and vibrant. So that aspect is called the Samantha. So Samantha body, both is your natural mind, no any other than that. So your natural mind is emptiness, so that's called female Buddha. Your natural mind is awareness, so that's called the main Buddha. It's actually this is inseparable. So your mind emptiness, your mind is with awareness, clarity, that's and inseparable. So that's called the, then Dharmakaya. So then the utterless, indivisible presence of these two, the essence of your own awareness, which is empty, without inherent existence, with respect to any substance whatsoever, and your own consciousness awareness, which is brand and radiant, present is Buddha body of reality. So now here, the main point is what is sharing here is our mind nature is emptiness. So that is a Samantha body. Our mind is clarity, awareness, that is a Samantha body. And then emptiness, awareness is inseparable, reuniting. That is called then male and female Buddha is Yab Yom is reunited. So that's the aspect is become form body. Usually we have this Buddha, Samantha Bada, and the Samantha body is reuniting. Is representative is your nature emptiness, your nature awareness, clarity, all this inseparable. So we cannot, think about this Buddha is like ultra level, and male and female is, have a reuniting or not reuniting is another word to say, the together. So that's also actually, our ultra level thinking, but innerly, actually your mind nature, empty aspect, clarity aspect is inseparable. So that representative is Yabyom, together. So then the total indivisible presence of truth, this essence of your own awareness, which is empty, without inherent existence, with respect to any substance whatsoever. That is Samantha body, your emptiness, mind nature, and your own consciousness awareness, which is vibrant and radiantly present, is the Buddha body or reality. This intrinsic awareness manifests in a great mass of light, in which radiance and emptiness are indivisible. So then, see, radiance and emptiness are indivisible, inseparable. It's called Buddha nature of unchanging light. So that's called the Buddha nature. Beyond birth or death, just to recognize this is enough. The main point is, your nature is free from death. Our nature is free from birth. The reason is, our own nature mind is emptiness and become clarity with awareness. So that nature is beyond the birth, beyond the death. Always remind, always there. We have to recognize this. Then long as you recognize that, you recognize your own nature. Long as we recognize our own nature in this state, we can liberate in the reality of Bardo. So this right now here sharing is always called Dharmakaya, Powa. Sometimes we talk about Dharmakaya Powa. And it means like you recognize your own nature you have ability to liberate in the reality of the Bardo. So then this, who has this ability to realization? Someone who has Dzogchen Mahamudra teaching and their practice, familiarity in this living Bardo. Then when they die, when they get in this reality in the Bardo state, they recognize their own nature very easily. So we talk about, mother, child recognize their own mother. Same, when this reality Bardo shines, that is called mother luminosity. And our practice, meditation, is called child luminosity. So right now, you use this teaching and you meditate, practice. You recognize your own nature in this moment, during the lifetime. So you cultivate that practice, meditate. That is called the child luminosity. Then when we get into the Bardo, like, water energy into our central channel, and then that moment we have experience no door. So when you have a no door experience, you recognize your mother luminosity. So called child luminosity is reuniting mother luminosity. We can liberate in the reality of Bardo ourselves. So that is who has this Dzogchen teaching, Mahamudra teaching. That person has this ability to liberate in this reality of Bardo. So other who don't have these teachings, then that person no ability to recognize this nature. This nature reality also very short moment, chance. Then they can go to the next level. So right now, sharing all this instruction is in the reality of Bardo, the first state. So first state is like outer breath is gone, inner breath is ceasing. Then that moment, when water energy, the mind, subtle level, something connections, subtle level energy go into the central channel. So that moment we have this experience. Then this experience, who has practiced in the living Bardo, then stay really longer time, have ability to recognize. Someone never have this teaching practice in the living Bardo, then when they die, this experience is very short term. And then they're not possible to recognize. So then another way, someone can help us, chant, read clearly our ear in this hearing liberation. That helps us, reminding again. We can recall our practice. So the most important, right now we are in the living Bardo, we have to know our own nature. So what is our own nature? Our own nature is, here is already talked, very detailed, clearly explained. Nature mind is emptiness. Nature mind is awareness, present, clear light. So that we have to recognize. When you don't have thoughts, emotions, then your mind came into this state. No door state is your mind is then empty and clear, present awareness. You came into the nature states during the lifetime we meditate, then you recognize this, all the time familiarity. When this reality Bardo shines, you have ability to recognize. So now also another, we have many different Buddha's form bodies. This all the Buddha's form body is, every form body is our own emanation, our own experience. So that's why we have this Bardo Yedam deity, mean Yedam deity is King the Zambo, is Samenda Bada and the Samenda body. Why these two? Because your nature is emptiness. That's representative is Samenda body. and female Buddha. And your nature is awareness, color light. That representative is Samindabhada, is male Buddha. And then this two is, Yab Yom is uniting, or, is together. So that representative is your nature, emptiness aspect, your nature, clarity aspect is inseparable. Seeing nature mind is empty. Empty is seeing, like we talked to Heart Sutra. Same, all form is empty. Form, emptiness is form. Form is no other than emptiness. Emptiness is a form. Form is emptiness. So that idea, same is in your nature mind. That's why it's the form body is Samindabhada and Samindabhadi. So, we have to know that Samindabhada, true is our own nature mind. Not outside, somewhere else. Then if you recognize this brilliant essence of your own consciousness, awareness to be the Buddha nature, then to get into intrinsic awareness is to abide in the enlightened intention of all the Buddhas. So then if you recognize it, means we recognize our own nature, this brilliant essence of your own consciousness, our own consciousness, we recognize awareness is to be the Buddha nature. So that's called Buddha nature. Then to recognize into intrinsic awareness, so we recognize our own nature, Ripa, is to abide in the enlightened intention of all the Buddhas. So point is, all the enlightened being nature is our own nature is inseparable. So the main point is we seeing our own nature. Long as we you seeing, you recognize your own nature, you recognize all the Buddha's nature. So that time, then our nature and all the Buddha's nature is inseparable. It's become one nature. So that's we have to, its introduction should be made 3 or 7 times with the correct pronunciation and the clear diction. So the tradition, who perform this hearing liberation, they're just beginning to read all the way end. Then they read again and again. Right now, is this teaching actually clearly showing what is showing is, if someone really recognize the dying person processing, there which stage is going on. So you have to read, I think, only that sections to them and read again and again. So example right now is this reality of Bardo is shining for the dying person. So that means like we have to read only this reality Bardo introduction, have to read again and again for that person. But the point is we don't know dying person is which stages. That's why just read the whole thing. Most people read the whole thing again and again. If someone really knowing the dying persons, which kind of stages they are, then we have to read like sections again and again for that person. Because that person right now, the reality Bardo is shining. So reality Bardo shining can be 30 minutes, can be 10 minutes. So the person is, has instructions, these teachings. Can be maybe 1 hour. If the really good practitioner, can be 1 hour. Be longer than this is 10 minutes, 100%. No one can make decisions. So always this up to the individual, situation, right? So that's why, if we knowing this person dying, then we have to read the sections. But if we not knowing anything, then just read the whole thing again and again. It's better, I think. This instruction should be made 3 or 7 times without with correct pronunciation, and clear diction. So we have to go to this next section too. Accordingly, the disease were firstly recollect the teachings as they had been formerly given by his or her teacher, and secondly be introduced to ignorance as a nature awareness, and then thirdly, having recognized this, he or she will attain the Buddha body of the reality beyond conjunction or disjunction, and certainly achieve liberation. So then this, stages. So this is where, firstly recollect the teachings. So when during the lifetime, the teaching, so we remind them, the recollecting again, recall, I think, their own teaching practice as they had been formally given by his or her teacher. Right now we are in the living Bardo. You have this instruction. When we are in the Bardo, we have to record this instruction again. And then secondly, be introduced to ignoring as a nature awareness. Second, then, this introduction. Another section is called ignorance as nature awareness, and another instruction. So that have to read. Someone read for us. Example, we are in the Bardo, so someone read for us. And also we record that practice. And then thirdly, having recognized this, he or she will attain the Buddha body of reality. Then third, we can realize, because we record all our own practice. Then someone helping us, all these introductions, introducing the reality of Bardo for us. Then we recognize our own nature, Rigpa, then we can liberate. So that liberation is called Buddha body of reality, beyond conjunction or disjunction, and certainly achieve liberation. Then we can liberate ourselves. So recognition of the first inner radiance of the ground like a place in this way. So that is called that's called the ground, is actually the point is recognition of the first inner radiance of the ground. So we recognize its first state take place in this way. So that's just, the important is we recognize reality of the Bardo, we liberate in the first state. So this liberation is only possible for who know the own nature mind. Recognize own nature Rigpa. So who meditate, practice, that person has the ability to liberate in this state. So we have these teachings, we have, these instructions, many Dzogchen, Mahamudra teachings, and we are no realizer in this life. But when we are get into this Bardo state, then, someone, our spiritual teacher, friend, siblings, read this clearly for us, and then we record our own practice, and we can remind them again, all this teaching, and then we can have ability to realize in the first state of Bardo. So if we have realized in this state, liberate in this state, then we don't have to go to intermediate state of the Bardo. So you don't have the Bardo experience yet, then we are, very lucky. And the first state we can liberate. So if we don't liberate in this state, then go to the next stages. So that is we're going to share next week starting again. And we're going to finish the today teaching. And I'm going to do the dedication. Dorjenchang, the Lopa, Naropa, Marpa, Malarepa, Dharma Lord Gambopa, Pamotopa, Lord Gomba. Please be stopping us, most auspicious bless our Kaju Lamas. By this virtue may achieve omniscience. By defeating all enemies of confusion. May all who travels on the waves of birth, old age, sickness, the death, across the ocean of samsara. Bodhicitta, the excellent and precious mind. Where is unbounded arise? Where is the boundless not decline? But it will increase higher and higher. I pray the Lama may have a good health. I pray the Lama may have a long life. I pray that your Dharma activities separate far and wide. I pray that I may not be separate from you. As Manjushri, the Vero realized the ultimate state, and as did the Samanta, but I will follow in the path, and fully dedicate all the merit for all sentient beings. By the blessing of the Buddha who attained the three kayas, by the blessing of the true unchanging Dharma as such, by the blessing of indivisible Sangha order, may the merit I share bear fruit. By this virtue collected in three times, by my seven all beings in samsara and nirvana, and by in the rule of virtue, may I and all sentient beings quickly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious enlightenment. May the teachings of great Digomba Ranachari, who is omniscient Lord of Dharma, Master of interdependence, continue and increase through study, practice, contemplation, meditation, until the end of the samsara. Om Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum. 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Thank you, everyone. Sorry about I lost the Wi-Fi connections, and maybe you have a little short break. It's good for you. And so next week I'll do better than that. Okay. See you tomorrow. Have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you, Kempo. Thank you, everyone. You're off mute now.
Thanks, everyone. Tashi Dele.
You are perfect.
Thank you.
Thank
you, Kempo.
陈上师，不感恩律师。
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.